should see what networks are there. Yeah. I mean, I see. I wonder why you don't see Wi-Fi options here because it says. Show available networks. It's not showing. You have to reset your computer. You can get it on there. But I don't even because I don't see it like if I said I wanted to do personal hotspot, it should show up. I think we're gonna have to close your eyes and reset. Well, that's what I did. No, I did. I put it on. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's see. No, because that's weird that you were not able to see Wi-Fi networks because you should be able to click on it and see. We should see at least 2 different Wi-Fi networks on the laptop. So let's do a restart. Now we can see. Right. Even last week. Oh, so you're yeah, because so I started using my phone. Director Matilda is talking about something. His was dropping. Yeah, so I'm gonna put in. I'll put in a ticket player. What I would anticipate, what I do with my laptop, I should. Okay, here we go. I can see my house. Says you're connected. Says you're connected. So go log in, and I see that you have Wi-Fi now. So let's try that out. That should. Let's see if you want to open up your outlet. Sometimes the computer just needs a shut down all the way and needs a restart. But let's see. Hopefully this should work. But it did say it looked like it was connected to Wi-Fi. And then I get over there. I think that's okay right now. So you're on. Let's see if you can click on your outlet. You shouldn't get air, right? It should just be able to. Okay, so there's some uploading from a couple. We see all folders up to 8 connected to Microsoft. Okay, so it looks like you have internet now. So you should be able to get in there and try it. Okay, thank you, Justin. I think so. Yeah. Thank you.
It's okay. It felt good. But no,
She said it meant to be.
but you will, yeah, for sure.
Tuesday was enough.
Recording in progress.
Thank for me. All right, you ready to get started? So, I guess everybody knows I'm going to be chairing the meeting in place of President Sudduth, who is away. And it is 9:05, and I'm calling the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Director King Meredith
Here.
and Chair Alvarado.
I am here.
We have a quorum. Thank
All
you.
right, so let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. What's on there? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, public comments. Items not on the agenda. Members of the public may comment during this time, up to 3 minutes per speaker. Directors may ask brief clarifying questions, but may not engage in discussion regarding public comments made during this time. Now is the time for public comments for items not on the agenda. Madam Clerk, have we received any public comments or requests to speak?
We have not. If anyone wishes to speak now, please come to the podium for non-agenda items or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Okay, so Director of Administrative Services Justin Lovell will lead us through the remainder of the agenda. Thank you.
All right. Item 1 on the agenda is to accept the minutes of June 20th, 2023 Finance and Administration Committee meeting, special meeting. Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments on this item or request to speak?
We have not. If anyone wishes to speak on item 1, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Okay, so motion to accept the minutes?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to accept the June 20th minutes, 2023.
All right, and I'll second those, and I guess that's all we need, correct?
That's it.
All right, so next item, please.
Okay. Next on the agenda is a presentation of managed IT services, RFP process, and contract. Madam Secretary, have we received public comments on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to speak on this item, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Okay, I'm going to go stand in front of the podium so I can just give a
All right.
presentation to you. So I won't sit on the sides. I'll be right.
Okay?
I thought it'd be a little nicer that I can just look at your faces instead of looking at the sides.
Sounds good.
But so today I want to go through and talk about our managed IT services. So just start off with kind of what they are, what we do, and then I'll go into the RFP process that we had and what the recommendation that we're going to for the committee is. Let's click that again. Let's try it. There we go. Okay, we're just double clicking our.
It's not working.
So just to start off, managed IT services are essentially it's a third party providing information technology support for our network, our hardware, and they're really just an extension of staff. They provide, managed IT services provide on-site and remote support services, including help desk. So anytime somebody has an issue with their laptop, phone, trouble connecting, there's technicians that can help them. They also do, managed IT services provide network monitoring, monitor the health of our servers, make sure we have enough storage and space and everything is operating as intended. They also provide cybersecurity management, which is a very important topic right now. As you know, we're hearing more and more local agencies are getting having ransomware attacks or getting their networks compromised, and so it's a really important service that we currently have. That includes items such as endpoint protection, which is essentially a monitoring, kind of if you think of it along the lines of a really enhanced antivirus system, but it does a lot more than what is kind of proactively monitoring all the networks, and anything that's suspicious that comes in is able to quarantine suspicious items so the networks don't get infected. There's also part of cybersecurity is their multi-factor authentication, which is you try to log into the network and you have a secondary authentication method, which we're currently using, as well as cybersecurity training. The managed IT services also provide items such as backup for our servers and our networks, as well as disaster recovery. So if anything does happen, we have backup data so we can relatively quickly, could be in a matter of hours, get our networks back up and running and still operating as part of our business. They also provide strategic advisory services. When we have certain directions we want to go, they can help us get there and just help us support our software licensing and support. So here at West County Wastewater, we've been using from the documentation we found about 2010. I think if it really at that point, it just became, it was done internally as a kind of a side project for one of the staff members who just happened to like IT or work with the network, and they would bring in consultants when needed to oh, we're gonna buy servers. They'd come in, install it, make it operational, and then that company would leave, and it would be up to staff to maintain the functionality. I think as we were, as an agency, getting up and spending more, having more computer programs, having additional staff, needing access to networks and different softwares, the complexity continued to increase, and it wasn't feasible for staff just to do it by themselves. And so about 2010, West County Wastewater started with, got a managed IT service provider who started working for it as an extension of staff and providing those networking support staff. And so really what managed IT services have done for us, they've helped us as an agency follow best practices, keep us up to date for just what's going on with IT management, providing tech support. Managed IT services has a bandwidth of staff and technicians and experts that can help us with a wide range of any issues that are going on. It could just be simple troubleshooting for software access or logging in, password reset, down to more complex network configuration and security setup. And they help us install networks in the office, evaluate different internet options. So as our current service provider, when we were we're having issues with our internet connection, they helped us look at what are different options. We moved to a fiber connection in the last couple years, so we have a lot more stability, higher bandwidth within our internet. This actually helped those who are working remotely make it easier for them to log in, because there's bandwidth issues. And so as a managed IT provider, they help us evaluate what are some of the solutions and how do we get to a product that's better, that's going to be better for our needs. They've also helped as different hardware is out of life or is getting older and it's time for replacement, they help us evaluate what's the best product. We've upgraded switches, we've upgraded our servers, made sure that we're using the most current operating systems, helped us spec laptops. So what's the right type of memory? How much? What does each different type of position need? What are their technology needs, and help us make sure we're getting the right equipment for our staff. Our managed IT providers helped us migrate from on-premise, we call it on-prem servers, so software databases that are and move to cloud-based solutions. And so we've done that with Microsoft Office. So it's Office 365. We moved all our email data from our server down to the cloud solution, so it's much easier to access wherever you have a data connection, and provided several items support and coordination with software vendors whenever we've been having issues where we're trying to migrate or upgrade different softwares. Our managed IT provider helps us with those different items. So there we go. Yeah, so as I mentioned, I think this kind of gets us through some of the products that we've had. We've moved to a voice over IP phone system. So it went from an old copper-based phone system. Now it's internet-based phone system. We have multi-factor authentication. I've mentioned Office 365, cybersecurity training, helping us connect to different databases, and with different systems using single sign-on, so it's reducing the number of passwords people have. So we're using it's called the Microsoft Azure. It's a platform to make sure that we can use the same password to log into several different systems, and using our Duo and multi-factor authentication. This one's, there we go. Helped us with password management, updating Wi-Fi. So these are several of the items that our managed IT services providers assisted us with. So recently, we went through an RFP process. So the last time we did an RFP for managed IT services was in 2018. So we're using our current provider, Claire Computers. I know several of you, if they have a help desk ticket, you can call them or we'll call you on their behalf. And so so it's time for us to do an RFP. It's been about 5 years. And so in March of this year, we issued an RFP for managed IT services. We got 10 proposals, which was really good. I'm really happy that we got so many interested firms.
Sure.
And it just meant that we wanted to give everybody a fair shot. So we took a lot longer than we anticipated to go and do all the evaluations because there are a lot of really good managed IT firms out there. And so we did the time to evaluate all the proposals. We created a short list of the top 5 ranked firms, and we invited those 5 firms to interviews and did additional selection. And then on the top ranked firm, we did reference checks to make sure that they were, see how other local government agencies that are using them, how they are with their services and getting any references. And so we were able to wrap that up in the last several weeks. There we go. And so the top ranked firm is Apex Technology Management. So they are based out of Reading. They do have staff in the Bay Area. But most of their services can be done remotely, kind of like our current provider. And so just to give you a little bit, this is what we're going to be going to the board, the next board meeting on July 19th to recommend approval for a contract, a 3-year contract for 2 1-year extensions. It'll be approximately $193,000 the first year, plus there'll be special projects that, if we had different hardware we needed to replace. Migrating, one of our projects that we're working on is migrating to the Microsoft Office SharePoint solution. So there's a lot of configuration and work that we need to determine how it's going to look like before we can have somebody help us configure the SharePoint. So that would be an example of a special project. On the second year, there's a little bit extra cost as part of the onboarding that the firm will spend just to make sure we hit all our networks and get up to speed and make sure they have all the information they need to be able to manage our IT services. So the total 3-year contract is about $710,000 with 2 1-year extensions. The total, each year is about $250,000 a year. So the total contract value will be over $1.2 million over a 5-year period. Just to note, this is actually slightly lower than what we're paying currently. So I think that's also another benefit of the RFP process. We're looking to spend about $30,000 less than what we're currently spending. So we did get the same services, the exact, with a slightly lower price. So that's kind of the benefit of why we go through solicitations and RFPs every so many years. And so once pending the board approval of the contract, we would anticipate that we would transition from our current provider, Claire Computer, to Apex in September. Our managed IT services. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Yes.
Dr. King Maris?
Well, thank you, Justin, for that report. I just have a couple of questions for clarification for myself. As far as the providers that we had previously, that individual, have we had them for 5 years also before looking at Apex, and what were their ratings? Were their ratings lower at this time? I know you said this Apex would be much cheaper. Well, we'll be saving, not cheaper, but we'll be saving $30,000 at this point. So
our current provider did provide a proposal. They submitted a proposal, but as going through the rankings and the evaluation period, they weren't ranked the highest. So they were competitive. They were actually, they have very competitive services, but when we put all of our criteria together and we looked at holistically the firms, Apex came out as number 1.
it came out
So our current firm is good. We're happy with them, but they didn't make the top cut.
Okay. Okay, all right, thank you. And the other question for clarification, that the one that we have currently will be ending by the end of this month, or will we be going into September with Apex? Is that correct?
Yeah, so if you call it, the board approved a contract extension with Clear Computer through the end of September. So that was gonna give us enough time to transition. So we can continue using Clear Computer for IT support until Apex is ready to transition in September. So as soon as the official cutoff, then we'll end the contract with our current provider.
Okay. And and this company will be able to suffice and to give us what we need as far as support if we were to vote of approval for APAS itself. They can fulfill our needs that we need at this point for starting in September and on,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was part of the evaluation process to ensure that they're able to provide all the services that we require, and they're able to, at the level that we're requesting, and they have been able to, then the references have attested to that as well.
Okay. All right, thank you. I'm done.
So Clear Computers did compete in the RFP process, and this new Apex, they have lots of experience with special districts, and or what type of experience do they have?
Yeah, they provide services for special districts. They do several cities in the Bay Area as well. You know, like Martinez is a local city that they provide IT support for. Martinez is a different situation because they have some IT staff, but they're kind of an extension of staff. But you know, so there's other cities in the Bay Area that they provide very similar, almost identical type of services that we're asking for. And so that was part of the reference check, that the other providers are happy with their service, and they're very responsive. And so that kind of helped us seal the deal, because they came out as through the solicitation, you know, the evaluation, they came out, they scored the highest.
Well, that's a good thing about doing the RFP process every so often, because you can get the top competitors. Well, somebody from, you know, with Clear Computers, I don't know about any other board member, but I don't think we ever had a one specific person assigned to a case. We had many different, you know, help desk responses. And I thought that wasn't effective, just between you and I. Will there be a person that's kind of fixated on us, or will there be a group of people? How's it gonna work?
It's similar to the way Clear Computers functions, is that they have what's called a virtual CIO, so a virtual chief information officer.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we'd call our account manager, but it's somebody like like I would, or Lakima would interact with them on a more regular basis on strategically. They operate similar, where they have a big staff that would, if you had a call, it could be any number of people that could do some of the technical support. There is going to be the person who will come out on site. So part of the scope is there'll be one person that'll come out on site twice a month. That will be the same person.
Oh, okay.
And that's similar to the way the Clear Computer works. There's kind of two people that are mostly dedicated to our account, because they know more of the ins and outs of the network, and then if they need to escalate, there's different expertise. But you know, there's, you know, anytime that we want to help work on customer service, or make sure that it's, you know, we're getting what the services that you need, you know, that's something you can talk to me about, and we can work through with our account manager.
All right. I think some of the things with Claire, like I said, it's just I never felt like there was somebody that I could just call and say, you know, I have an issue. Sure. You know, and even the answers sometimes I got were kind of, anyway, that's no here nor there, but you know, I'm happy that we're going in a different direction, and that we have someone different. So thanks for the work.
So yeah, that's it. Kind of the end of the presentation. So if just the direction from the committee that is that you recommend that we bring this item to the board for approval.
Okay.
I would like to make the recommendation for this presentation to be presented at our board meeting on July the 19th, 2023.
Is that when you're going to bring it to the board?
That's correct.
Okay, all right, so great.
Oh,
All
I'm glad.
right.
I'm glad I didn't
Fantastic. I'll
rush it.
second that. Next item.
All right, next item on the agenda is item 3, reports on issues or matters pertaining to the work of the committee. Madam Clerk, have we received public comments on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to speak on this item now, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Okay, do we have any reports?
Not at this time.
Okay, neither do I, so next item.
This meeting is adjourned at 9:25 a.m.
Wow, maybe a record.
There we go. Good.
All right, thank you, everyone. Quick and easy, right?
Good, yeah. A light agenda. There is, well, we had one. I'm gonna double check that, because we have to speak, where's this? Right, no, we do have, there should be. We have had one, so I'll just double check. No, but there was one, so there should be. You've seen one, yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah, for the guest Wi-Fi.
Good, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Anything happening on